The latest behind-the-scenes leaks just landed, and what they are planning for our favorite returning blonde is downright explosive. I am talking about the recent sightings in Los Angeles, featuring that iconic bright blonde hair we all know and love. If you ask me, this is not just a mere coincidence or a simple salon visit. This is the ultimate, undeniable sign that Maxie is finally packing her bags in Australia and booking a one-way ticket back to Port Charles. But if you are sitting there hoping for a sweet, nostalgic homecoming, do not start celebrating a happy reunion just yet. The whispers coming from the set suggest a storyline so emotionally devastating, it will completely shatter everything we thought we knew about her happily ever after. We are looking at a narrative earthquake that will leave multiple lives in ruins. Let us talk about the massive domino effect this highly anticipated return is going to trigger across the canvas. Maxie stepping off that plane is the very first domino falling, and the immediate tragic casualty is going to be Damien. We have all assumed that absence makes the heart grow fonder, that Maxie returning would finally cement their long-standing status as a true legacy family in the making. But what if the quiet time away in Australia gave Maxie a brutal, eye-opening reality check? What if she realizes that her dynamic with Damien has become nothing more than a vicious cycle of codependency, guilt, and mismatched expectations? I predict Maxie is going to sit him down and drop the ultimate bombshell, telling Damien that despite his endless devotion, their romantic chapter is permanently, irreversibly closed. Can you even begin to imagine the sheer, soul-crushing devastation on Damien's face? Guys, this is a man who has worshipped the very ground Maxie walks on for well over a decade. He has built his entire universe around the idea of protecting her and providing for her. If she coldly cuts the romantic cord, Damien is not just going to nod, cry a single tear, and walk away quietly into the night. His profound heartbreak is going to be the second domino to fall, and it will push him into a dark, desperate, and highly unpredictable corner. We know Damien. When he feels powerless and emotionally cornered, he turns to his keyboard and his darker instincts. What if his sheer desperation to prove himself worthy of Maxie leads him to orchestrate a massive manipulative scheme that compromises the safety and privacy of everyone around him? But here is exactly where the third domino crashes down, bringing a massive, entirely unexpected twist into the romantic mix. Enter Cody. Right now, Cody is already deeply embedded in the daily life of little James. We have all seen the beautiful, touching bond they share on screen. James absolutely adores Cody, especially after the immense, heart-wrenching trauma of losing the man he thought was Nathan, only to find out it was the evil imposter Cassius. Cody was the brave one who had to sit down and break that devastating news to James. Cody was the hero who saved the innocent boy from being kidnapped by that monster. When Maxie returns, she is going to see Cody not just as a stable, handsome presence at the stables, but as the literal savior of her precious son. James is going to be the innocent, unknowing bridge connecting Maxie and Cody, setting off a chain reaction of undeniable chemistry. At first, Maxie will likely just view Cody as a trusted confidant, a reliable and sturdy friend to her grieving child who desperately needs a father figure. But you and I both know exactly how these classic soap opera romances start, ladies. It begins with a lingering look over a shared laugh with James, a comforting, warm hand on the shoulder during a difficult, tear-filled parenting moment. Maxie has spent years dealing with men who either lie to her, manipulate her, or idolize her to an unhealthy, suffocating degree. Cody, with his rough-around-the-edges honesty and grounded nature, might be exactly the grounding force she desperately craves after the chaos of Australia. This is where the romantic tension skyrockets, setting off the fourth, highly volatile domino. Damien is incredibly observant when it comes to every single micro-expression Maxie makes. It will not take him long to notice the shifting energy, the subtle blushes, and the lingering glances between Maxie and Cody. Imagine the intense, burning jealousy brewing inside Damien as he watches Cody effortlessly make Maxie smile, effortlessly play the rugged father figure to James. Damien will feel his entire world, his entire envisioned future, slipping through his fingers like sand, and that paralyzing fear will rapidly morph into dangerous, unchecked resentment. He will view Cody as an unworthy interloper, a massive threat that must be neutralized and eliminated at all costs. Driven by this blinding, all-consuming jealousy, Damien's manipulative scheme will undoubtedly escalate to terrifying new heights. He is a master hacker. There is absolutely no digital secret safe from his prying eyes. What if Damien starts relentlessly digging into Cody's past, desperately searching for a hidden agenda that he can expose to the world? We all know Cody is not exactly a saint. He has skeletons in his closet, past mistakes, gambling debts, and shady dealings that he has tried so hard to bury since arriving in town. Damien will stop at nothing to unearth those dark secrets, hoping to expose Cody as a dangerous fraud and prove to Maxie that Damien is the only man she can truly, safely trust with her heart and her family. But Damien might quickly realize that he cannot take a street-smart survivor like Cody down all by himself. This leads directly to the fifth most catastrophic domino of this entire theory, an unholy alliance. Who else in town might want to see Cody knocked down a peg and destroyed? Perhaps someone from the criminal underworld who Cody owes money to, or maybe even someone connected to the authorities who has a bitter grudge against Cody's newfound family ties. If Damien aligns himself with the wrong, dangerous people just to get leverage and dirt on Cody, he could inadvertently unleash a violent wave of danger, but puts Maxie and James directly in the line of fire. Meanwhile, if you think Cody is just going to sit back and take this abuse, you are sorely mistaken. Cody is not the type of man to back down from a fight, especially when it comes to defending the people he has grown to love. If he senses that Damien is actively trying to sabotage his growing, beautiful connection with Maxie, Cody will push back with aggressive force. But Cody's primary defense mechanism is often explosive anger and physical defensive. If Damien pushes the exact right emotional buttons, he might successfully provoke Cody into doing something incredibly reckless in public, something that unfortunately validates all of Damien's frantic warnings in Maxie's watchful eyes. The emotional crossfire between these two vastly different men will turn Maxie's life into an absolute war zone, the exact opposite of the tranquil peace she came back to find. Maxie will find herself completely trapped in the middle of this escalating, toxic feud. On one hand, she has Damien, the father of her daughter, a man deeply intertwined with her legacy family history, but whose obsessive, suffocating love feels like a heavy anchor dragging her down. On the other hand, she has Cody, a man who represents a thrilling fresh start, a genuine, raw connection, but who comes with a volatile temper and a mysterious, shadowy past that Damien is actively trying to weaponize against him. Maxie's heart will be violently torn, and the immense stress of managing this explosive, unpredictable love triangle will push her right to the breaking point. Let us not forget the most vulnerable, innocent piece on this entire chessboard, James. The poor boy has already endured so much emotional whiplash and trauma in his short life. If Damien's manipulative scheme ends up hurting Cody, or worse, driving Cody away, James will be utterly devastated all over again. Maxie's primary fierce maternal instinct is to protect her children above all else. If she realizes that Damien's selfish jealousy is causing severe collateral damage to James's mental health, that will be the final, unforgivable offense. That realization could be the final nail in the coffin for any lingering affection she has for Damien. Imagine the breathtaking climax of this storyline, ladies. A massive, humiliating public confrontation, perhaps in the middle of the Metrocourt dining room or during a glamorous town charity event. Damien, armed with whatever highly damaging, illegally obtained information he hacked from Cody's past, publicly accuses Cody of having a hidden agenda, screaming it for everyone to hear. He expects Maxie to gasp in horror, slap Cody, and run crying back into Damien's waiting, protective arms. He expects to be hailed as the conquering hero who saved the damsel in distress. But what if the domino effect flips the script in the most spectacular way possible? What if Maxie, completely exhausted and disgusted by the constant childish drama, turns her blazing fury not on Cody, but entirely on Damien? What if she publicly condemns Damien for his gross invasion of privacy, his toxic jealousy, and his blatant disregard for James's feeling? I can see Maxie delivering a blistering, tear-filled speech, shattering Damien's heart into a million unfixable pieces right in front of all their friends and family. It would be the ultimate declaration of independence from a woman who refuses to be treated like a fragile prize to be won. The emotional fallout from that public explosion would be absolutely monumental. Damien would be left entirely broken, forced to finally, painfully accept that his lifelong dream of a happily ever after with Maxie is dead and buried forever. He would have to face the harsh, cold reality that his own desperate actions, his refusal to simply let go and respect her wishes, destroyed their beautiful friendship alongside their romance. This devastating loss could send Damien spiraling out of town to lick his wounds, or it could force him into a brutal, long overdue redemption arc where he has to rebuild his entire identity from scratch without Maxie as his guiding star. As for Maxie and Cody, the dust settling from Damien's spectacular explosion would leave them standing together, stronger than ever. The shared trauma of surviving Damien's relentless sabotage would only serve to deepen their romantic bond. Cody, realizing that Maxie bravely chose him despite his exposed flaws and messy past, would finally feel truly worthy of unconditional love. Maxie, seeing Cody's vulnerability and his fierce, unwavering loyalty to James, would realize she has finally found a true equal partner, not a suffocating worshiper. It would be the beautiful beginning of a completely new, mature, and passionate chapter for her, free from the heavy ghosts of her past. But guys, we have to remember that this is the dramatic world we live in, and true, uninterrupted happiness is always just a fleeting illusion waiting to be shattered. Even if Maxie and Cody manage to successfully build a beautiful life together from the smoldering ashes of Damien's broken heart, how long can their newfound peace possibly last? With Cody's newly exposed, dangerous secrets floating in the wind for anyone to exploit, and Damien's unholy alliance potentially still active and lurking in the dark shadows, are Maxie and Cody truly safe to start their happily ever after, or have they just painted massive, inescapable targets on their own back?